Let's talk Jinx, a weekly Jinx video we do every Wednesday about anything to do with Jinx, as well as this video acting as a weekly discussion thread on the Jinx subreddit, our League of Jinx. Make sure to go check that out. And when a new patch hits every 2 weeks, we talk about it, changes to AD carries and Jinx specifically, and then something of a pseudo AD carry tier list to round the video out. So without further ado, jumping into patch 9.20, we don't actually have any changes to Jinx directly, with really only one AD carry change to Varus. But really quick, we will mention Blitzcrank though as a support in the bottom lane as well. The base armor and armor growth is being decreased because they kind of liked that his range on the grab was increased, but felt he was a bit too powerful all around because of it and with it, so they're kind of nerfing some other areas and making him a bit more vulnerable. But jumping back to like Varus, and also Sona for that matter, because she can be played support as well, but her changes are just like quality of life stuff, so that it's easier for her to know when her empowered attack is coming up. With Varus, his base AD is being increased and they're rounding out other stats, so they're giving Varus some general reliable power. And honestly, that's kind of really it for anything that will affect Jinx and even other AD carries. So it's not even really matchup changes and stuff like that, so we could just jump straight into the AD carry tier list. But the also problem with that, with this last week of like researching and stuff like that, honestly, not a lot has changed since last patch's tier list. So honestly, whatever last patch's tier list is right now, it kind of carries over into this one, because this change even to Varus won't be enough to like shoot him into S tier, and probably won't drop him at all that much either, so a lot of stuff will relatively be staying the same. So what I thought I'd do for kind of a tier list this go around is A, refer you to previous tier list, because again, nothing's really changed, but what we could do different is then, and it's going to be a little bit opinionated, I apologize, talk about maybe some sleeper OPs that we've been seeing. So like, if Jinx is banned or taken away from you, what else could you maybe play to try and climb, etc, etc. So a general one all around that we've all been probably seeing popping up by this point is Lethality Jhin, as a matter of fact. Now granted, this one really kind of only works if you kind of already played Jhin a little bit. Like if it's one of your go-to AD carries, if you can't play Jinx or something like that, you can kind of go pick up the Lethality Jhin. The idea behind it being the meta is kind of fast right now and it lets Jhin come online a bit earlier. Also, there's not a lot of tanks necessarily in the meta, even though there are some, and if there's just one, Lethality can still be something you can use to try and dominate the early game before they get super tanky. Now, if they have like 4 or 5 tanks, you probably want to be playing more of a DPS AD carry, but that's kind of a little bit like a sleeper OP in all ranks. Something for low elo that's kind of a bit more known, especially amongst this sub, will be a Jinx, of course. She's something that stomps low elo for whatever reason. People have different debates and reasonings why. One reason why that we could talk about that's not like the one we usually talk about games not closing out super fast, opponents in low elo not knowing how to close out games, so she just gets the chance to scale, is to kind of quote August Browning, the kit designer for Jinx, her damage profile. She has a lot of AoE in her kit. So one of the reasons she can possibly excel if you're trying to climb out of low elo right now at the end of the season is because she has a lot of AoE in her kit to damage multiple enemies relatively easily too, instead of being like a single target, like highly mechanical AD carry like a Vayne or something. You really have to just right click, and even then once you click on a champion, Jinx will do all the work herself in terms of chasing the champion stuff, and it's your job to kind of look out for positioning changes you need to make from a threat or a flashing or something like that. Honestly, if you click once on an enemy, Jinx will like right click, she'll fire rockets and auto attacks, and as long as you don't like flash to get super out of range of her auto attacks, she'll even chase for you. You won't even have to move after a champion. It's kind of like a net navi from Mega Man NT Warrior a little bit, right? Like you kind of just have to worry about threats coming at the champion will do the work because they're easy mechanically to execute on. So with that being said, in higher elos, obviously one of the things that still kind of stayed around a little bit is the Xayah and Kai'Sa, especially in pro play, but also Kai'Sa, her thing really is that she doesn't have really good weaknesses, right? It's not even so much her power, it's just that there's a lot of things she can do and a lot of things she can get out of, even more so than like a Tristana right now. So if you can kind of play Kai'Sa, play Kai'Sa. But speaking of like Tristana and Caitlyn are also things you can kind of go to right now. Tristana, you see her a bit more in solo lanes and pro play, but her thing is also, again, high damage, relatively easy to execute, but unlike Jinx, has a bunch of built-in self-peel, with Caitlyn's meanwhile thing being sieging, right? Like, Caitlyn's a bit more mobile, even with the net gun, she's not like super gonna dash away 15 times like an Ezreal or something like that, but what she can do is help siege a tower from long range safely with the trap setup, and she can also lane bully right now in a meta that's, again, a little kind of early game. With, I guess, honorable mention being, of course, to Ezreal. If you're someone that's auto-filled AD carry watching this video for whatever reason, Ezreal is something that a lot of people tend to play because he can kind of arcane shift out of a lot of stuff every 15 seconds with cooldown reduction and whatnot, and there you go. Now, if you're someone that's watching this video, like let's say you're in Challenger or Grandmasters, whatever, and you're like, I'm here because I want a challenge. Give me something challengeable. Give me something on my plate, something that's really that good food right now. I have a cheese pick for you. And this is not good. I'm just saying, if for some reason you're like, hey, to heck with it, I've climbed the mountain, I don't care about decaying because the season's over in a month. Lethality Callista, for whatever reason, her Q scales very well with lethality, and as such, if you max your Q and you go lethality on Callista, there's a lot of things you're going to be lacking, which I would still recommend building a Runon's Hurricane and going the attack speed boots instead as well. But if you build a lot of lethality, you will nuke people, especially with Dark Harvest, with the Q, especially if you don't get too far behind. As long as you're even, especially if you're ahead, because that's how lethality works. If you want some cheese, like I said, there you go. Not a lot of people are playing Callista, so if you can pick that up, you're not going to be contested anywheres. So there you go. That's all for this video, though. Again, like I said, I apologize. It is kind of opinionated because just there's not a lot changing. There's not a lot that's changed across the elos even. There's not a lot really new to talk about. So it's kind of boring and still the same. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next because life's gonna have a lot of kinks. So until this time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching and enjoy pizza responsibly.